Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So why is it important to monitor your child's progress on state tests? Now, I remember when I was in my third year of teaching back in 2007, I was an avid elective teacher. And two of my best students were females. They had a 4.1 and a 4.2 grade point average. California at that time point had the California Standards Test. And at that time, that was the test that was used for federal accountability and federal funds, Title I funds. Now, these students also had AP courses as they were 11th graders taking Algebra 2 with me. When the state test results came back, I was shocked. I mean, they both scored below basic, standards not met, the lowest possible score. Now, these were my A students, my best students. How could that be? I ran into them at the beginning. Matter of fact, I went and looked for them to inquire about what happened on the test. Did you fall asleep or something? Their response to me was, the CST, that state test, doesn't impact my grades, so it can't impact my GPA. And I had AP courses that I had to take. And the AP courses were good for college credit, and it could help me get a scholarship. That CST test doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't help me. It doesn't show me anything. It only is a test that the state wants. It has no impact on me. It doesn't inform me about anything. You know, I was upset because I got dinged personally for those results because of the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. And administrators are up under pressure because if you didn't meet certain API goals, then they were subject to being removed. Everybody's got to have a job. If your job is about being subject for you to be removed, guess what? You're going to take actions that you don't necessarily like to do. So I got marked down on my annual performance evaluation, and that pissed me off big time. It wasn't fair. See, it was not my test. See, I agreed with my students' decision after thinking about it, and I would have done the same thing. In 2010, the standards and testing in California began to change the focus onto college and career readiness and the Common Core state standards. Now, this was nothing unusual. When I was in the fourth grade, I mentioned early in the course how my parents could no longer help me in math. And the reason is because the standards change. And the reason the standards change is because the world has changed. And the future workforce or the future skills that are needed to fill those jobs change. And that's why in 2010, the Common Core standards became into focus. And parents are all upset because they could no longer do the math. Hey, welcome to my case here now. So, all of my K through 12 schooling was in Missouri. And when I was going to high school in 68 to 72, there was no state testing. And my test was the SAT or the ACT, as that was my ticket to college, especially because I was a black youth in inner city, Missouri. Now, I had to get a scholarship. That was the only way I was going to go to school. My parents worked hard to pay for private schooling. They did not have the money for a four-year college. It was my math scores on the SAT and the ACT that got me scholarships and an appointment to the United States Naval Academy. That was my scholarship. It was the monitoring of my progress by my parents, specifically my mom, in prep classes that got me there. So there was also an SAT, ACT study guide that they bought from Walden's bookstore that I used to work on because I didn't have the thousands of damn TV channels that kids have. And I didn't have a cell phone to occupy my every moment on. So the SBAC or the PARC assessments adopted by the states is your child's test. The SBAC in California is for you, the parent. It is not just for the teachers anymore. It is everyone's test. It's a test that tells explicitly how the student is progressing for college and career readiness. If your child is scoring at level 3 or level 4, then they're on grade level. But a score below that should sound off a 4-alarm fire. Yeah. So by the end of this presentation, you should know why it's important to monitor your students' progress on state tests and know what to do when your child is not on grade level. In the final lecture, you will learn how to develop a written plan of action to increase your child's scores each and every school year. Let's get with it. Here are my learning goals. Parents need to understand the importance of monitoring student progress on the state test. They need to understand, in that case, what is the California School Dashboard and the system of supports. They need to understand what is the smarter balanced assessment. And I have movies for you to take a look at that's going to give you a little bit better understanding of that. What are the scale scores and performance? I got a movie for that that's down here below. And you also need to know what are the claims. The claims are the different areas or content areas, specifically big content areas. So big concepts and everything. It's like reading. And then there's different standards in writing and listening. Yes, so we have all those things. But parents will also need to understand why a parent needs to monitor their students' SBAC score. So, success criteria. At the end of this video, at the end of this lecture, you should be able to read and understand the information on the SBAC student progress report. Parents should be able to know what a scale score is and what is a performance level that indicates their child is on grade level. The parents will also know what action to take if their child is not on grade level at the end of the year state test. This is something that's very important. So, California accountability. I live and teach in California. My sons are out of state, approximately 1,800 miles away from me. 2 of them have 5 of my grandkids. I have 2 grandkids that have already graduated from high school, and 1 of them is in college going to be a teacher. My motivation for developing this course was to leave instructions and guidance for my sons who are doing a great job of raising their kids. But also, I wanted to leave a legacy of information that can help my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids and my great-great-grandkids that I may never see to be successful in life and overcome. Education is the key that overcomes the obstacles. So the information in this course is based on my experience under the California Law and Education Codes. Every state has similar methods of accountability and instruments to measure student progress. So just do a Google search to find something similar for the items that are information that are presented in this course based on the state that you live in. If you need help, you can send me a message in this course or send me an email, and that information is readily available. In 2016, California began to modify their accountability and performance systems as a measure of improving and preparing students for college and career readiness. So, California School Dashboard. So California developed a system, and part of it, part 1, is the California School Dashboard. It's sort of like a little dashboard. If you can see what the little dash thing and everything else reminds you of and everything else, it's a way to understand the status and everything else of a school. Exactly how that school is actually performing. You see here on the screen, it has like a meter, and that meter showing from red to orange to yellow, etc. We're not going to show the video at this point. I actually have that down lowered and everything else for you to go ahead and take a look at. But the California Dashboard gives you opportunities. In other words, the better our kids do in school, the more opportunities for them in the future and the less money that you as parents have to spend. Time is a valuable resource. Let's not waste the time. And the time spent in this course is an investment in your child's future, and it is an investment in America's future. So the ideal on this dashboard, it just gives you a snapshot of exactly where they're at. Now, if you got schools which are in the red, then guess what? You as a parent need to start participating and engaging in the performance of your own child. Everybody doesn't have to be in red. If you're a parent that's engaging, your child should not be in the red. All right, let's get going. Next, It also provides you, in California, it provides you a dashboard with additional reports. In California, they use a 5x5 grid, a 5x5 placement grid that tells you whether they are improving or not. So every year it should show, and it based off of each area. So it looks at African Americans, it looks at any subgroups, and that's something else. And you can actually see that when you go through the list and everything else. And down below, I've given you links. You need to go ahead and click on that. But anyway, that's the other part. Is a school dashboard navigator. Let's say that you have to relocate from where you are at now in California to another school district. The navigator shows you that whole school district and their boundaries, and also shows you the schools which are in that district, and also shows you their performance levels. So if you're moving and you want to go ahead and pick out a better school and everything else, if you're a responsible parent and involved, I suggest you. Next, what is the SBAC? The SBAC is the Smarter Balanced Assessment Consortium. Yes. So it's a test that California is using. And that test has two parts: a computer adaptive questions and a performance test. And the video down below is actually going to, if you click on that video, it's actually going to explain to you. But very shortly, just give you that. So you got a computer adaptive questions. These are test questions. They normally have anywhere between 20 to 40 of these questions. There are multiple choice. There are multiple response. There are type in a short response. There are graphing. There are drag and drop. So it's a multiple thing. But then you also have a performance test. And the performance test is important because the only way that you can understand the student's depth of understanding is if they can write. Do they have research skills? Can they conduct an analysis? Can they use critical thinking skills? And the SBAC does that for each subject matter. It also includes critical thinking, analytical writing, and problem-solving skills, and that's a performance task. And you add both those scores together, and you will get their final score. So SBAC is the end of your assessment. But let me explain to you the big differences between this for anybody who's been in California for over 15 years, and they were familiar with the previous test. Here's a big difference. One, the SBAC is based on more rigorous standards. Second, the overall performance score and level in ELA and math is much different. That is taken on a computer, so it's not on paper and pencil. So you're not taking a pencil and bubbling in answers. Also, every student is not getting the same exact questions. No, no, you're not getting the same questions in this test. So it's computer adaptive, which means it's going to give you grade level. So for instance, if your child is in the 3rd grade, they're going to get 3rd grade level questions and content information. If they get the question right, then they're going to give you a question which is a little bit more difficult. If you get it wrong, they're going to give you a question that's a little bit easier, but it's still all on 3rd grade level. In the past, what the systems used to do is that if you were 11th grade and you got the first question wrong, they would give you a 10th grade question. Then they give you a 9th grade question. Then they give you an 8th grade question. Well, they go ahead and do that, but those are not your grade level standards. Okay? So, performance tasks are scored by people, hand graded. People like me, I've done it. So those tests are graded by people, and we are evaluating the student's ability to demonstrate 21st. It's a computer adaptive test. It goes over grade-specific Common Core standards. It is different than previous tests because the previous test did questions above and below the grade level. This one scores and actually combines short answer and performance tasks. It's the score range is between 2,000 to 3,000. Okay, so it has a range in there. Okay. So it also covers 7 claims or 7 areas. And here are the areas. For English, a student needs to be able to read, write, listen, demonstrate effective communication skills, needs to be able to conduct research and inquiry, investigation. Sound familiar? Yeah, these are real life skills, no matter if someone's going to college or someone's having a career. Mathematics, problem solvers. That's why we need mathematicians. Mathematicians looks at the evidence and everything else, and they are problem solvers. Just like this course and everything else that I've developed. This has been a problem. How can I get my lowest performing students to do better? And the research says I have to get parents involved, and I need to educate parents. And that's why this course is concepts and procedures and communication and also reasoning. Also have. So here's the thing. So why do we need to monitor the scores? The SBAC is more robust. A student, for example, will have to demonstrate their ability to write, listen, and even research. And in the case of math, the SBA students will not only have to problem solve, but they also need to be able to demonstrate knowledge of mathematical procedures, data analysis, and most notably, communicate their mathematical reasoning and writing. Thus, truly, the Smarter Balanced Assessment will provide a measure of your student or your child's progress towards an attainment of the knowledge and skills required to be college ready. So here it is. So the SBAC every year given from grades 3 to 8 in 11th grade, that score is their score. Parents, wake up. That score is your child's score. The question is your child ready to be a productive individual in the career, either in their career or college? The SBAC score says that. If they're scoring 1 or 2, they're not on grade level. Hey, wake up. That's a problem. So what level should they be? Level 3 and level 4. They're not at level 3 and 4, there's a problem. So what are the performance levels and what do they mean? There are 4 overall performance levels for each grade level in ELA and math. There's standard not met, standard nearly met, standard met, and standard exceeded. Each level is intended to be an indicator for college and career readiness. So what do the new SBAC student performance levels mean? So let's look at it. Standards not met, which is level 1, means that they're below grade level. And they need additional supports and substantial improvement to be successful in the future coursework. Okay? Standard nearly met means that students can comprehend and complete complex tasks near the grade levels. But the question is, guess what? If they are level 1 and level 2 in the 3rd grade, they are not prepared for the grade work in grade 4. If they are standards met or level 3, then they're prepared to move to the next grade level and are fully capable of doing that work. And if they're level 4, that means they have exceeded. They may be in the 4th grade, but they're capable of doing work in the 5th grade. And that's okay. I love to have my higher end students in my class when I was teaching algebra. They actually got better. So it was not better for them to be separate, okay? Because that's what I call tracking, okay? That's tracking. You take all the smart kids and you put them in one group. No, that doesn't work. It's already failed over and over again. How do you get better? If you really are good in something, then you can teach it to somebody else. And also in a class, the typical high school classes are 35 to 40 kids. That one teacher needs help. How do they get that help? By having the other smart kids in the class. Those other smart kids can still do other activities to enrich their activities, but they get better by helping the lower end kids do better. So, next, what should teachers do? Teachers, they should meet with the parents of the children who are performing in the standards not met. In other words, end of the year, from 3rd through 8, grades 3 through 8, you've been getting these results. And parents, now, with the information in this course, you can understand what that report means. But just right off the top, it's going to tell you whether they're standards not met, standards nearly met. If they're there, that's a problem. A big problem. They need help. You need to contact their teacher. You need to come up with a plan. You need to look and see what that report says. You need to understand the deficiencies, and you need to work a plan. And it's going to take both of you. It's going to take the parent and the teacher working together in order to do this. What should principals do? They should provide professional development for teachers. They should lead parents. They should look at concerning cycles of inquiry, achievement gaps, etc. Parents, principals need to lead. So now, how can we prepare them for the SBAC? First of all, monitor the progress every year. Second, make a chart, motivate and reward them. Step one for parents, right? It's a motivator. If they're level of 1 or 2, schedule a visit with the teacher and come up with an instructional plan. If they're level 3 or 4, celebrate. Make it special. But at the same time, if they're 3, look at what they're deficient at. Enroll in an SBAC course. Okay, they do have those. And I have those resources available for you as well because my students are actually doing them. Set up a SMART goal. Yeah, a SMART goal. Oh my God, guess what? Set up a goal of if the student is standards not met, set up a goal for the next year of standards nearly met. Because if their standards not met, it's going to take them 2 years to make it up. But you got to set a goal and you have to have a plan. So, the purpose of this lecture here with me is to parents should be able to read and understand the information on the SBAC student progress report. And that's down below with another video. Next, parents will know what skill score, what is a skill score, and what that performance level means, whether your child is on grade level or below grade level. And parents should know this. What action to take if their child is not on grade level. If your child is not on grade level, then you need to meet with their teacher and you need to come up with an instructional plan for activities that's going to be done in class and activities that's going to be at home in order to get your child out of the deep sink.